Hey guys, Strongbird here, and today we're talking about the Nintendo Switch. Now, yesterday we found out that it is no longer the NX, it's now the Nintendo Switch. Now, the name lives up to what the console is, let's be honest. Right, let's get into this. First thing they showed was a guy sitting on a settee playing Breath of the Wild Legend of Zelda. Now, come on, we're all stoked for this, we know that. The game looks excellent, the exploration looks excellent, the game is just going to be brilliant. And when the guy was sitting on the settee, he was holding this controller that basically looked like a 2DS without a screen. Now, for me, it just looks like it's going to be uncomfortable, and it just looks weird, just really weird. So I doubt I would use that. I mean, I'd use it just for first impressions, but after that I doubt I would use it. The next thing that they showed was that controller that he was holding, that it detaches and puts onto the screen. Now, it just basically reminds me of a Wii U, which is okay, doesn't really bother me, but I like the fact that you're going to be able to take that around. So, say for instance you're sitting there on a settee playing a game, and then you've got to go out and make some food in the kitchen. You then just pick it up, take it to the kitchen, and you ain't got to keep coming backwards and forwards. I mean, also you could, say for instance you've got to go to work, you could bring it to work with you. If you're early, you can quickly play like Legend of Zelda or whatever game you were playing. Now obviously you'd have to save to either the console to the hard drive, or to the cartridge, sorry. But obviously we don't know the details yet. Now the next thing they showed was game cartridges. I'm happy about it, but I'm a little bit sad as well. Now, I like the fact of game cartridges because they're smaller, they're more compact, you can get more data on them. I like that, but I do like my discs. It's just like nostalgic for me to open a case, put them in to the disc tray and let it rip. But game cartridges are just not my thing, to be honest. I mean, I like the old Nintendo 64, but smaller ones just don't really do it for me. Now, next thing they showed was a guy on a plane playing a Nintendo Switch with Skyrim. Now, this makes me extremely happy. To see that Bethesda are putting their faith into the Nintendo Switch is amazing. That convinces me that maybe Rockstar, Ubisoft, could you imagine it? Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell, GTA 5, Red Dead 2. That would just be brilliant on a Nintendo Switch. That'd be absolutely brilliant. And the next thing that they showed was the unit that the screen sits on. Now, I think it looks good, but it looks weird at the same time. I like the whole Nintendo Switch logo, but the fact that the screen's behind it just looks weird. It looks like the screen's got like a little body. It looks really weird to me. Now, the next thing they showed was the Pro Controller. The Pro Controller to me looks really good. It reminds me of an Xbox controller, but like different layer of the buttons that just been moved around, which is quite annoying, but that's video games for you. I'm assuming that everyone's just going to use a Pro Controller, for people who have big hands and don't really like the small controllers. The next thing they showed was two guys playing a Nintendo Switch with the two small controllers. Now, to me they look really uncomfortable, and they just look really small. It kind of reminds me of like a Wii controller, like if you turn it on its side, and to me even that was uncomfortable. Like, I did like using the nunchuck and the normal controller, but when you turn it on its side, for me that was just like, no, I can't do this, I can't do this. So I mean, if I got a Nintendo Switch, I would just have two Pro controllers with me at all times, so if me and a friend want to play, then we're set up. Now, straight after that, they showed four guys playing NBA on two Nintendo Switches. Or Switch. Yeah, I'm assuming Switch. Yeah. Now again, I would assume that the two different people who have the Nintendo Switch would bring two Pro controllers each. If, say for instance, people have bigger hands, or... I mean, if you're doing it with kids and you have parents, then more than likely you're not going to need that, because kids can deal with the small controllers. But for adults, obviously, we can't. Now, the next thing they showed, and I'm excited for, is a new Super Mario game. Now, I've seen a lot of reviews, and people were saying that it looks like a Super Mario 64, maybe like a sequel. Now, if it is, I'm all over that. I'm absolutely all over it. I mean, to be honest, regardless, I'm still all over it. I cannot wait at all, Now, the next thing they showed was amiibos next to the console. I'm not a massive lover of amiibos. I've not actually got any because I know if I get one, I'm gonna get them all, which is just not good. Not good. I do like the fact that you can get like extra data off them and extra features, X, Y, Z. So I'm assuming the amiibo is going to be massively pushed onto Nintendo Switch. The next thing they showed was esports, Splatoon, which I think is good because it pushes esports. And for me, I'm all for esports. I can't wait to see what happens in more years to come, all over like League of Legends, Hearthstone, StarCraft, all of that kind of stuff. And then they ended it with a release date, which is March 2017. Now, I wish they would have pushed it for December, because they don't push for the holidays, then we can have like some time off, play the Nintendo Switch, chill out for a bit, get playing with your mates, you know what I mean? But March is okay. March is okay. I mean, obviously they're releasing it with Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda, so I completely understand that. Now, it raised the issue of the price. Now, I'm really hoping they keep it competitive with the Xbox One and the PS4, standing at about $300. That's dollars, which is basically pounds as well, anyway. Now, I mean, it could happen that they push it for $350, $400, because you can also take it about. It's a handheld and it's a home console. It's a hybrid. They could end up doing that. I really hope they don't, though, because if you're taking that pad out of your home and you're, say, for instance, you're going to the park or you're going to a friend's house, like, you could potentially get mugged. Obviously, I don't want this to happen, but these things can happen, and you can get mugged, you could drop it, you could lose it. Now, obviously, Nintendo are going to have a service where you could send it back and get replacements. I mean, you might have to pay for it, but they will still offer a service. And I really hope they keep the price to a maximum of $300. I mean, we both know that that's not going to happen, but it is what it is. Now, the only other thing that they didn't show, and that I can think of, is an online service. Now, obviously, they're going to have an online service because they push a social aspect constantly. I just hope it's not like a me world, like in the Wii U and the Wii, where you've got like little people everywhere, because personally, it kind of takes me out of the world and it's a bit cliche. It doesn't really like put me into the world. It's just, I just seen it being a bit weird. But I'm excited to see what happens with the Nintendo Switch. I'm definitely going to pre-order one. I just want to see a lot more games. I'm stoked that Skyrim's on there, so I'm definitely going to get it, guaranteed. But I'd like to know what you all think. So please put it down in them comments. Please like, rate and subscribe. And until next time, take care.